The hangar doors groaned as Messon pushed them open, the rusted hinges protesting against years of neglect. He'd bought this old military facility for practically nothing after the war ended, a place where he could work on salvaged ships in peace, away from the crowded stations and their endless questions about his service record. The smell hit him first, sulphurous and ancient, like burning stone mixed with something organic he couldn't quite place. His hand instinctively moved to where his sidearm used to hang before he remembered he'd given up carrying weapons 3 years ago. "I know you're in here," Messon called out, his voice echoing through the cavernous space. "Motion sensors picked you up 2 days ago." A whimper came from behind his half-gutted frigate. Not a human sound. Something deeper, more primal. Messon grabbed a plasma torch from his workbench, igniting it not as a weapon but as a light source, and moved carefully around the ship's hull. What he found made him freeze. Huddled in the corner were 2 figures that belonged in mythology books. Not on the outer rim colony of Tarragon Savanne, the larger one elderly by any species. Standards had scales that had once been brilliant crimson but now appeared dulled by malnutrition and exhaustion. Her wings, folded protectively around the smaller figure, were torn in several places. The younger one, barely more than a hatchling in dragon years, stared at him with enormous golden eyes filled with terror. Draconian refugees. Messon's jaw clenched. The war had supposedly ended, but clearly nobody had told these two. "Please," the elder dragon woman rasped in heavily accented galactic common, her voice like grinding stones. "We mean no harm. We leave, just give us one more night. Too weak to fly now." The hatchling, no older than Isabella, Messon's daughter would have been if she'd survived the bombardment of New Terra, pressed closer to her mother, her small body trembling. Messon extinguished the torch and set it down slowly. "When did you last eat?" The question seemed to confuse the elder dragon. Her protective stance didn't waver, but her eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Why you ask this?" "Because you're starving," Messon said flatly. "Both of you, and you picked my hangar, which makes you my problem now." He turned and walked toward the living quarters he'd set up in the corner of the facility. "Stay there. I'm getting food." The dragon woman's confusion was palpable, her wings twitching uncertainly. Messon returned 15 minutes later with everything he could carry: protein rations, synthesized meat, even the expensive imported beef he'd been saving. He'd also grabbed blankets and a medical kit, because those wing tears looked infected. "I don't understand," the elder dragon said as Messon set everything down at a safe distance. "Humans and Draconians, we were enemies. My people burned your colonies." "Yeah, well, that was your government and mine making decisions," Messon replied, opening the protein rations. "You don't look like you were flying a warship when you burned New Terra. You look like someone who got caught in the crossfire." The hatchling's eyes fixated on the food, but she didn't move, waiting for her mother's permission. The elder dragon studied Messon with an intensity that reminded him why Draconians had been so feared during the war, even starving and wounded. There was something deeply powerful about them. "My name is Zyrith," she finally said. "This is my daughter We escaped when the Purge came to our world." Messon had heard rumors about the Purge, how the Draconian government had turned on its own people after the war, blaming them for the defeat, hunting down anyone deemed weak or sympathetic to humans. He'd dismissed them as propaganda. "Eat first," he said. "We'll talk after." Watching them eat was both fascinating and heartbreaking. Zyrith insisted Shara eat first, tearing the food into smaller pieces despite her own obvious hunger. The hatchling devoured everything with the desperation of someone who'd forgotten what a full stomach felt like. Only when her daughter had finished did Zyrith allow herself to eat, and even then she did so slowly, carefully, as if afraid the food might disappear. "Those wings need treatment," Messon said when they'd finished. "I've got military-grade regenerative gel. Works on most carbon-based species." "You are veteran," Zyrith observed. It wasn't a question. "Yeah, 7th Fleet, I did 3 tours before, ... He trailed off, not wanting to finish that sentence. "Before Isabella, before everything changed." "You lost someone," Zyrith said softly, somehow understanding. "In the war," Messon nodded, not trusting himself to speak. "I lost 3 sons," she replied. 2 to your human weapons, 1 to my own government, when he refused to kill civilians." Her clawed hand rested gently on Shara's head. "She is all I have left." They sat in silence for a moment, 2 veterans of a war neither had wanted, both trying to protect what remained of their shattered worlds. "You can stay," Messon said finally. "The hangar's big enough. I've got plenty of work if you're interested. Turns out dragons are pretty good at metalwork when given proper tools. Pay's not great, but it includes room and board." Zyrith's eyes widened. You would do this. After everything, the war's over, Messon said, standing up and dusting off his pants. About time we all started acting like it. Besides, I could use the help, and glanced at Shiara, who was already starting to look less terrified. My daughter liked dragons. Used to have a whole collection of dragon figures before. He cleared his throat. She would have wanted me to do the right thing. Tears, actual tears, which Messon hadn't known dragons could produce, rolled down Zyrith's scaled cheeks. You honor your daughter's memory with kindness. That is ... rare. Yeah, well, don't spread it around, Messon grumbled, but there was no heat in his words. Bad for my reputation. Now let me see those wings. Can't have my new employees falling apart on me. As he carefully applied the regenerative gel to Zyrith's torn wings, Shara, watching with fascination, Messon realized something. The war had taken everything from both of them: family, home, purpose. But maybe, just maybe, they could help each other find something new. Not a replacement for what they'd lost, but something worth protecting nonetheless. In the vastness of a galaxy still recovering from war, in a forgotten hangar on a backwater colony, 3 survivors found something that armies and governments couldn't provide: a second chance at family, forged not from blood or species, but from the simple human act of choosing kindness over hatred. And that, perhaps, was the most powerful weapon of all. The end.